What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I thought today, to kick off 2020, I would take a look back at 2019, how I've changed, how the channel has changed, and how I plan on moving forward into the new decade. So I start out 2019 with 380 views and 14 subscribers. While those numbers might not seem like much, for the quality of those videos and just the nicheness of West Virginia history, I was actually kind of surprised. On November 13th, 2018, I uploaded my last video because I was planning on taking some time off for the holidays. I really didn't know when I was going to be back, if I was going to be back at all. Whenever I took time off for the holidays, friends and family members, like anytime I'd see someone that had watched any of the videos, they would ask me, like, well, when do you plan on coming back, or what do you plan on doing next, or are you getting any camera equipment for the holidays? And my response was, I'm taking a break. I might be done, just period, I might be done. But then in January 26th, 2019, I came back with my video on Joseph Disdabar. I was on vacation. I just got really bored of sitting around watching it snow and drinking coffee all day. I did just more of the usual, sitting here in the Blue and Gold Palace, doing history videos. That was until June. When June rolled around, I actually stepped up my quality. I'd been pricing and looking at cameras for a while. One of the companies, Canon, actually sent me an email that was like, hey, we're going to clearance off all of these refurbished cameras of this one model. And I just thought, man, that's two words that means cheap. Originally, I was just using the camera for making these videos, and then on the side I was taking it to like some weddings and events and stuff, and I was basically keeping those two things separately. But every time I would post any of these pictures from these trips I took on social media, people would ask me if I was doing something for the channel. Like, oh, were you going to this place to, do something for the channel? It's like, no, I went there to go antiquing. And that basically went on until August. I think middle of August. And I remember I was working on my script for the Prohibition episode. I was sitting there and I had, I think it was like Destination Unknown or Destination Truth or one of those like travel shows on in the background. I was just typing away on my laptop. For like a minute or two, I got really engrossed into the show. And I was like, wow, that guy has a really cool job. And then I just went back to working on my script. Maybe an hour and a half later, I got up to, grab something to eat or whatever. And I just had this epiphany. It's like, I have a camera. I can travel. What's keeping me from doing that kind of stuff? And then immediately, my brain was like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you just gonna pack up all your stuff and be like, gee, I wonder what it's like. I wonder what's going on in Grafton today. So about a week later, I packed up all my equipment, threw it in my car, and I was on my way out to Grafton. Thinking about how weird it was that what I was doing was perfectly legal. And that's where my Tiger Lake video came from. Now, while that was not a good video, it was actually pretty well received. Way better received than I thought it would be while I was like editing the video for it. And that kind of caused me to want to start taking the channel in kind of a different direction. Now, the one thing that also happened right around the same time was towards the end of summer and into the fall, if I had days off, instead of sitting in here and working on scripts and researching history and stuff like that, I would just go, I'd pack up a backpack with some beef jerky, some trail mix, and I just go to places. I'm slowly going back through and reviewing like the pictures and stuff I took. I'm going to make another, probably another like Cooper's Rock like video, but just throw everything I did over the last summer and fall into that one. The one thing I did notice in 2019, late 2018, 2019, there was a big surge in just content in general about West Virginia, which, I mean, rising tides, kind of raise all ships. So the fact that there was this new kind of interest in West Virginia folklore and cryptids and stuff like that definitely did help me out a lot. It was definitely a good time to jump into it. West Virginia has such a deep well of just weirdness and creepiness and such rich history and stuff. In fact, a channel that I've been subscribed to for a while that does a lot of creepy videos and stuff like that called Bedtime Stories. They had covered Mothman, I think one or two other West Virginia cryptids, but then their most recent video was on the Sauter Children, one of Fayetteville's weirdest and most haunting tragedies slash mysteries. I definitely recommend checking that out. But it was also weird, just the non-paranormal, non-true crime channels that also, did stuff with West Virginia. The Grumps, Aaron Hansen and Daniel Avedon, they did an episode on cryptids where they went into detail about Mothman and Point Pleasant, and that's not what they do. They mostly play video games very poorly while being very handsome looking. But there was this very mainstream kind of surge in West Virginia related content that was just amazing. And then you have the Country Roads covers. There were so many covers made of Country Roads, it's hard to keep track of all of them. We have to briefly talk about Fallout 76. I haven't talked about it. I've stayed away from it. Look, lots of people have talked about it, have talked about the bugs around it, but it did raise a lot of interest. It has brought a lot of eyes upon the Mountain State. There for a while, and even still occasionally, you couldn't go to like the Fallout subreddit or to the West Virginia subreddit without someone being like, oh, I'm a big fan of Fallout 76. I'm thinking about making a trip to the Mountain State. What would you recommend I do when I get there? And that is kind of even where the idea of the ultimate West Virginia paranormal road trip came from. Just the concept of like what would be, based off the time of year, a trip you could do and see the majority of the state, a large chunk of the state. And that's where that came from. But it's getting to the point where it's kind of weird because I figure more people at this point have seen content pertaining to how bad Fallout 76 is than actually have played Fallout 76, which is really, really weird. I can't think of another game in recent history that would fall into that category. But again, a lot of these videos, they bash Fallout 76, but they say nothing negative about the state itself. And really, the showcasing of the state in even a digital form is really kind of an advertisement for the state, which is ironic. I mean, the fact that the past two governors have pushed how much West Virginia needs to invest into tourism and become, a tourism-based economy. But it's all these individuals outside of the state government that's really leading the surge to push how great the state is for free. Like, let that sink in for a second. I ended 2019 with 2,100 new views, 95 hours of watch time, and 29 new subscribers. So that was amazing. And it's all because people have, liked and shared these videos. So yeah, I mean, I just want to, I don't want to speculate too much about the future of the channel or me or whatever, but I just want to continue that steady growth. So the long-term goal for this channel, Probably won't happen in 2020, might not happen in 2021. Eventually, I'd like to start doing weekly content. I'd like to start putting out a video once a week. Basically, just throw a dart at the map of West Virginia, pick a town, an area, kick off the month by doing maybe a video, more of what we're akin to at this point, of just the history, what happened there, why is it important. Next week, just do a walking around video, go to some of the sites, some of the places. I love finding little weird hole-in-the-wall antique and oddity shops. That's something I'm very passionate about, being an oddity myself. And finally, third week, just showcasing local individuals, businesses, content creators. I would, oddly enough, like to eventually start collaborating with people. Going out, meeting with some of these small business owners and creators. That's one thing I love about going to conventions. Just meeting with these people that are super passionate about what they do. Oftentimes, in West Virginia, it's very hard to get kind of a footing in whatever you want to go into. There's a certain attitude, there's a certain mentality for individuals who, they pursue their goals, they pursue their dreams, no matter what geographical limitations are put on them. And I'm always inspired when I go to conventions and I see these individuals that have not let that hold them back. And I would like, to meet with more of these people. What are some of their favorite hole-in-the-wall places? What are some of their, favorite places to eat? And then lastly, end of the month, just throw all these things together with some B-roll and, some travel footage and give you guys a solid 20 to 30 minute video showcasing the Mountain State. That's ultimately the direction I'd like to go in. That's kind of the roadmap I'm looking at now. Again, I probably won't be able to do it in 2020. Maybe 2021, but probably not. It's just something every video I'm going to try to work closer and closer to. My goal for 2020 is just keep making, semi-regular content. Just keep working on these videos. Keep pulling my gear together and learning how to get the most out of them. Again, the step up from beginning of 2019 to the first video of 2020, there's a big difference in the quality and the setup and all that stuff. And I would just like to continue growing and building up, my gear and learn how to use it. So I know this has probably gone on for a while. I know it's probably not what you guys were expecting or used to, but if you have any suggestions or want to see more of these kind of behind the scenes, what's going on, let me know. And yeah, if it's something you guys are interested in, I'll start doing more stuff like this from time to time. And till next time, don't forget to stay wild and stay wonderful. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great 2020, everyone.